So China is kind of back to work. The lockdown has been lifted. The epicenter, Wuhan, is apparently reporting no new cases. And apparently, the Chinese method is the only method that has proved successful. This should be good news. But good news from China, or for that matter, any news from China, meets with a problem. The problem of credibility. Can China's coronavirus recovery be trusted? It feels a bit odd to be even asking this question. The world still doesn't have an answer to the many, many questions that we've asked of China. Repeatedly, for more than 3 months now, questions about the source of the virus, the cure, the research, the reopening of the wet markets, no answers at all. So we keep asking the questions and we take the good news from China with a sack of salt. Tonight I want to raise 5 questions, 5 very basic, simple questions for China to answer. I'll try to keep them as direct as possible. Question number 1, where did the Wuhan virus come from? The coronavirus come from? China says it wasn't Wuhan. For a while, the Chinese blamed the Americans, but now they have made a U-turn. So where did the virus come from? It's very important to know. Was it the wet markets, which the Chinese government, strangely, hasn't shut down? If yes, then we must be preparing for another pandemic, a COVID-21 or 22, God forbid. Did it originate because of sloppy practices in Chinese labs, which is even worse? In any law-abiding country, those who recklessly pursue hazardous activities are held accountable, even punished for such disasters. In China, all of this is buried under the carpet. So that's the first question they must answer, the origin of the virus. Question number 2. How has China cured the positive cases at home? Again, no one knows. Why do I ask? Because China had reported more than 82,000 cases. Let's assume that is the right figure. Now, China says 90% of these cases have been cured. The question is how? What are they using? Is it traditional Chinese medicine, which President Xi also seems to be promoting? Or is it that nanomaterial that Global Times reported about? If yes, why not share it with the world? Perhaps learn from India. Hydroxychloroquine is not even a proven cure. It's a potential cure. And India has exported 14 million tablets of it. It is gifting paracetamol to neighbors and many life-saving drugs to nations in peril. What has China done? Donation diplomacy, and that too backfired. China exported faulty masks and test kits. If China had cured tens of thousands of people, it claims it has, it should tell the world how and spare us the test kits. Question number 3. Where does research stand in China? I ask because China is very quick in slamming anything that anyone else proposes. Hydroxychloroquine is ineffective, said China. But it has offered no alternatives. It should, because it had a clear head start. It had the first samples, which it destroyed or hid. It reported the first case in December 2019. It's been almost 4 months now. China boasts of the world's biggest research labs. What are they doing? We won't know because China is clamping down on the publication of coronavirus research. Any academic papers on the virus will not be published until they receive a green light from the Special Task Force of the State Council. Believe it or not, a special task force for research. The Chinese censors must clear everything. Question number 4. Why doesn't China give access to international experts if it has nothing to hide? China says it's a collective challenge. Fine. Global experts want to share their knowledge, make a collective effort. Why is China not accepting those offers? A WHO delegation was sent to Wuhan, but then we do not know what it found. In any case, the WHO has lost much credibility since. The US Center for Disease Control has offered to send experts to China. Beijing denied. The question is why? What is China hiding? And the last and most pertinent question, can China assure the world that this will not happen again? Will China shut its wet markets? After all, knowing how a pandemic started is key to stopping the next one. And China's wet markets have been the birthplace of many diseases. There have been warnings, scientific warnings. But these markets have gone back to selling exotic meat. From deer to minks to foxes, bats and pangolins, they're all back on the plate. What assurance, if any, can China give the world? Instead of answering the questions, though, China holds a light show to celebrate and divert attention. Well, we will not be blinded by these lights. The questions will continue. It is important to hold China accountable and make China pay.